What's going on, family? How y'all doing? Hey, real quick, just wanted to jump in on this one. A lot of people are amazed, and a lot of people find themselves devastated by the current trends in the U.S. real estate market, right? You know, you have home prices that are at all-time highs. You have homes that are listed for, let's say, $500,000 that are getting sold for $750,000. You know, some people are paying over by hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's home scarcity going on, and what makes it even more complex is the fact that, you know, we had this whole COVID pandemic, so a lot of people were out of work. A lot of people were out of work, and there was a lot of people that weren't able to pay rent, so you had the whole rent moratorium going on. And while all that was happening, home prices continued to surge, right? But now here's the thing that's the real problem. You have homes that are going up for sale, and as soon as they hit the market, it seems like they're being bought within 5 days, right? In a lot of markets, it used to be maybe like 30 days. You would get that. These things are, people are coming in bidding. I mean, like, when I say bidding wars, real bidding wars. And these homes, that as soon as they hit the market, they're only lasting on the market for about 5 days or a week. And what we're finding out now is that the average Joe Schmo and Jane Doe, they may have $60,000, $80,000 for a down payment, which is good for a house, and they're still getting outbid. In fact, many of the homes that are on the market that are being swooped up like this and scavengered out are being bought cash money, flush out cash. And it is hard to compete. You may have 60, 80, maybe even 100,000 saved up, but you may not have that $400,000, $500,000 for that home saved up. And so what we're finding out, we know that you have the private equity firms and these venture capitalists that are coming through and buying up all this property, right? Like, you have like Starwood, Blackstone or BlackRock, was it Home Equity? I forget the other name, but there's a slew of them that are buying up homes by the tens of thousands all across the country, and specifically like in Dallas, Phoenix, Atlanta, Charlotte. You know, these are the hot markets right there. And what's happening is people are, the individual citizen, you the listener, is competing against these private equity firms that are flush with a bankroll into the billions. Now, it's not just them. You know, these are institutional buyers of homes in bulk. Many of them, what we found out was, when that 2007-2008 real estate bubble burst, many of these institutional private equity firms and hedge funds, they came through and bought up all these houses that people lost. Yeah, a lot of people that purchased homes with adjustable rate mortgages, and when those interest rates ballooned and people could no longer afford it and were upside down in their mortgage and could no longer afford, they lost their house. And that happened to so many people all across the country, nationwide. And all those houses that went on the market, these hedge funds and private equity firms and venture capitalists, they went and they bought them up by the bulk at wholesale prices. And they bought them with the intention of not reselling them, but to hold them, keep them as assets, and only use them as single family rental properties. So just like in today's market, like think about how the prices of real estate has shot up, right? Think about how they may have purchased these homes at such a discount back in 2007, 2008, 2009, when they scooped up 20,000 houses at one time, right? And they held on to that. And they held on to it up till now. Do you know how much money they made? Hands over fist worth of money, because they held on to it, and that equity continued to grow as the value continued to grow because of the demand in the housing market. So they held on to these things, and all they're doing is just using them as single family rentals, not releasing them to the market for repurchase. Now, this is several layers to this story. Now, you also have investors, so that's like the equity, and that's the private equity firms and the hedge funds. Now you also have investors, small investors. Let's say you have like small investment groups. You may have, let's say you have some friends, maybe 10 of them, and they may be well off, or they have pulled their money and decide to start buying, 1, 2, and 3 houses, and they want to flip them, or they are buying them in hopes to hold and retain value, to see an increase in equity, just like the hedge funds and the private equity firms are doing, but just on a smaller scale. So what they found is that the majority, well, let me not say the majority, about 20 to 25% of all these institutional buys by like private equity firms and hedge funds, they're the ones buying up a lot of these things in bulk. About 25% is done by these equity firms. A lot of the other ones is actually small group investors that are buying up, when you have a whole bunch of them all across the country, and they're buying up 1, 2, and 3 pieces of real estate, maybe 4 or 5, and as they continue to get more money, they can buy more property. So you have all these things. It's like musical chairs for real estate. Now, here's the other piece to the puzzle to why it seems like it's so hard to get a home. If you have that down payment, if you have a sturdy down payment, that it's a solid one that you could, let's say if it was maybe 10 years ago, that would be a solid down payment. Why is it hard to get a house now? Well, I was reading an article in MIT, and it was talking about how artificial intelligence is disrupting the real estate game. And what they're talking about is that you have what's called iBuyers, right? And iBuyers are basically, these it's internet groups, basically like your Zillow, Redfin. There's another one. It was like 2 others they listed, but like Zillow and Redfin, which I'm pretty sure, unless you've been under a rock, you heard of them. they were also doing all of these multiple buyouts of homes, just like the private equity firms, right? But what the iBuyers were doing, and also private equity firms are enlisting, is they're incorporating artificial intelligence, and they're using what's called AVM, automated valuation models. And so they create these algorithms. They create these real estate algorithms on how they want, whatever the criteria is that they want, they feed it, whatever they're looking for, they create these algorithms for the purchase that they want. And what the reason they outbid and beat you to it first, aside from it being artificial intelligence and having all the intricate algorithms and patterns, it has a 24/7, 365 real-time crawling inquiry of the MLS, right? And the MLS is the multiple listing service. And the MLS, the multiple listing service, this is the running, how can I say, inventory of homes that are on the market or being introduced to the market to be sold. Now, oftentimes you would either be driving in the neighborhood and you see a for sale sign, or you may have real estate agents and brokers that are kind of shoveling homes for sale to you. Not too many people go and hit the MLS or can access the MLS. But in real time, while you sleep, while you're at work, while you're at lunch, while you're at happy hour, while you're at the club, while you're studying, this artificial intelligence is combing through the MLS multiple listing service in real time, continuously. It does not stop. It continuously searches this, and when it finds these homes that are for sale, newly listed, bam, they jump right on it. The algorithm hits, connects, and then these iBuyers, Zillow, Redfin, or even the private equity firms and hedge funds, they go ahead, pull the trigger, and they've got the cash to buy it just like that. And that's what's happening. And also, there's a lot of homes that are being sold off the market. There are a lot of homes that are being sold off the market, meaning it's not even being announced, but somehow or another, they're getting their hands on it. So this is what's happening with the real estate market in America. And it's something that you need to pay attention to. Once again, it's the AVM, automated valuation model, that they're using, that is constructed with artificial intelligence, that searches the MLS, that triggers, it sends the signal and it sends the notification to either these iBuyers or to these private equity firms and hedge funds to go ahead and pull the trigger as soon as a property is put on the MLS on the market for sale. And they're going to beat you every time, because they are it's a rolling scan. It's a rolling query and inquiry of the MLS. You don't have all day to do that. And this is what's happening. So just wanted to share that piece of information with you. All right, take care. Peace.